welcome to FreeMMOStation. My name is Skylight, and today we're going to play a new driving simulation game called Forza Motorsport 6 Apex.
FreeMMOStation.com.
Now, I know this is a little bit weird, guys. I know I'm kind of, in the middle, literally, of a race. But, yeah, we're starting the first impression here, guys. Okay, this is Forza Motorsport 6 Apex. Free to play on the Windows Store. You gotta go buy it on Windows Store. Of course, we could talk about the Windows Store. I guess we'll do that first, real quick, because I did do a first impression review on Killer Instinct, which is also on the Windows Store, and Gigantic. Now, the difference from those times is that the Windows Store is just a little bit better, and this game seems to be ported just a little bit better. There's still some issues with potentially the game, though I really think it's more the fault of the Windows Store. But remember, guys, Microsoft is really pushing to get Xbox games on PC, cross-platform, all that good stuff, and making Windows Store a real competitor to Steam, and just make it a good PC gaming platform. And I can actually see that with this game versus how the beta for Killer Instinct was, and for Gears of War and stuff like that. Actually, Gears of War was pretty alright. So this game, it's doing pretty good. As you can see in the top there, I have the frame rate counter on. Now, I was actually playing a little bit earlier, played with keyboard and mouse, tried that. You could do it. It's not as interesting or as good as playing with a controller. And if you have a steering wheel controller, you are going to want to use that for this game, especially since it is a simulator title. But I was playing earlier, trying out different control schemes, trying out different graphical options, and I found that I could not run this game on full ultra, which was weird. I don't know why I couldn't. I was running at 40 to 50 frames per second, and it was really choppy and ugly, and there's actually some intricacies with the graphical settings that we will talk about later, but everything that you're watching now is on medium, though it's dynamic, and that's kind of hard to describe. But basically, the game tries to keep you at a steady frame rate, and if it starts to dip, the game automatically changes around certain effects and textures so that, it dynamically changes the quality of the game so that you keep that high frame rate. So as you can see, I'm, around between 80 and 90 FPS, all the time. Now, I believe this map in particular is one of the easier maps to render. It seems to be flatter lighting, and overall there's not too much going on in the distance and around me. The last map I played was nighttime, and that kind of hit my FPS pretty hard. We'll try to play on another really intense map later. But right now we're in the campaign, which is really interesting as a free-to-play game. It seems like the whole game is completely open to players. Like, probably the only thing that is going to cost money, and don't quote me on this, I don't know, because the beta has a lot of things unlocked for me. It might just be certain cosmetic things, or maybe a way to progress faster, because you do get cars, and you do have to unlock certain tracks. So maybe if you want to play with a friend without, actually beating the campaign, you got to pay $1 or $2. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Hopefully that is just the case. But yeah, I don't think there's anything pay to win exactly about the game. Then again, it is beta. And yeah, we have to see the shop. We have to look at the options and that. But the games, it gives you a campaign sort of thing, which is what I'm playing now. You get free racing. You get a couple of other different options. You get like a photo mode, and you get a lot of ridiculous stuff with this free-to-play version of this game. It seems fully fledged. It seems like a legitimate free-to-play racing game, which is really exciting to me because I've always wanted to play a really good free-to-play racing game. They've always been extremely comical and always not great, always low polished. But this seems to be, as a simulator title, as a title in the Forza name, under the Forza name, it seems really good. It seems really well done. Then again, this is a sort of enthusiast type of game. Now, I will admit it seems very accessible for an enthusiast game, but still nonetheless, it's a niche enthusiast game. But one thing that really excites me is that this was an Xbox exclusive. This was not only an Xbox exclusive, but it was, like I said, an enthusiast and niche title. So it's really cool to see it become free to play. So it can get people, anybody, random kids, older people that would normally just play Candy Crush. Maybe they'll see it on the Windows Store. They'll be like, yeah, I'll try a racing game. It's been a while. And I really do like the sort of accuracy of this game. It is an enthusiast game. It's still kind of arcade, obviously. I'm not somebody who's really into cars, but I can already tell that there are some arcade elements to the racing and the actual driving physics, but still, it is more of a realistic game versus Mario Kart, obviously, okay? And I can tell that it's doing a really good job at making this sort of genre of game accessible to other players while still trying to keep it as authentic as, possible. which I really do appreciate. So right now, I don't really play racing games. I mean, I know I'm not bad at motor skills, but I'm just surprised at how kind of well I'm doing at the game. So it is accessible, I can see that. But I will say that there are some things that if you've never played a game like this before, is gonna feel weird. Like normally in Mario Kart, you're just ham on the gas non-stop, get weapons and everything. Yeah, it's kind of a different game. This game, you have to really appreciate the brakes and slowing down and keeping a steady pace versus just gunning it non-stop. So, you know, it is a slower paced type of racing game. And I know personally, I'm kind of interested in Dirt Rally. I do want to purchase Dirt Rally here pretty soon, but I want to get a steering wheel first. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm playing with an Xbox controller because I found that to be the best. Of course, it's an Xbox exclusive, but racing games with controllers are really good. But if you want a true experience, which maybe I should be doing that for a first impression, you should be playing with a steering wheel controller. Absolutely. Anyway, so we just finished our first race of the campaign. We did okay, you know. I probably could have tried better, but I was commenting, man. I was talking to you guys, reviewing the game, really.
Nice work passing your first event.
And here's the announcer. Now this guy's gonna jibber jab and talk to us and stuff like that, but it's really cool actually. When I started this race, they gave me like a little bit of history of this historical race because this is a real life race and these are real life places, and they sort of like educate you on the culture of cars, on the history of what you are doing here, and I really appreciate that. As somebody who is just getting into the scene, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, from just vloggers to professional YouTube channels, talking about the history of cars and stuff like that. So it's really cool. So we just did the Pony Car Sebring Presents event there, and I mean that was pretty cool. Now if we click on this next one, I'm really hoping it's going to do the same thing. So let's go try that. Yep.
This is where it all starts, in the empty parking areas and on the city streets where you race your mates between stoplights. We do this in the very first cars we owned, or the ones we saved up for later. We're talking about affordable heroes, cars that bring performance to the people. Whether they're smoking around a patch of waste ground or hammering along a city circuit you designed yourself. They aren't the most expensive and they won't win every drag race, but they all prove one thing. You don't need $1 million to have a car with a big heart.
I like it, dude. And you see, they actually get different people. They actually get different people for these little intros. I'm assuming probably because they know specifically what they're talking about. So you get a couple cars that you can choose from. As you can see, some of them are unlocked. And yeah, you see right here, it says press A to unlock early. I think the shop is discontinued right now because it's beta.
Be unlocked before they can be driven.
Okay, so the fastest cars must be unlocked before they can be driven. Each car will unlock after you've earned its requisite number of medals and can then be used in tour events, spotlight events, and free play. So I can unlock this because I have 7 gold medals, or you can spend money. So everything, it seems, can be unlocked without paying money. Pretty neat. That definitely gives it a step up over Killer Instinct, which, you know, you have to actually purchase the character. I don't think you can actually just earn the characters in that game. But this, since I already have a couple gold medals, I can purchase some cars. Well, actually, I don't have enough gold medals. Or you can spend $1 to expedite your progression. This is just through the campaign and to, you know, do free play. But every racing game has always been about progression. And that's kind of how it is in real life. You know, you earn a little bit of money, you slowly buy new cars, you buy new parts, you customize your vehicle, and oh, guys, this game has a huge amount of customization, which is already in the beta, actually. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click this. I already saw it, skip it. Okay, so we're gonna go with the Golf R by Volkswagen. Okay, and it's pretty cool, actually. They allow you to do this for free. You can actually select custom paint jobs from other players. So these are some paint jobs that some other players did. I'm actually gonna do the Xbox One one. Clickety-clack, there we go, and we're gonna do another race. Now, guys, I just wanna prepare you. This is gonna be a longer first impression because this is a AAA free-to-play game on the Windows Store. There's a lot of talk about the surrounding genre with the, you know, the Windows Store and this game in particular, especially because it is an enthusiastic, I said enthusiastic. Well, it is an enthusiastic game about racing. It's an enthusiast game about racing. Simulation. So, we gotta talk about a lot of things.
Racing on a wet track poses several challenges. Tires lose grip more easily during cornering, braking distances are longer, and deep puddles accumulate, causing a risk of hydroplaning.
Now, that is one good thing that he brought up. So, unlike a lot of free-to-play games, which kind of pick and choose which physics to enter into the gameplay, into the mechanics, this seems to be like a full-on AAA production. You have everything that they have learned from the default series, and I brought it over. Like, this feels like a AAA game. Absolutely. Just free to play. And it seems to be free to play done right. It really does. Just first impressions, though. I could be wrong. There's maybe something that you could nitpick about. And if you have that, please tell me in the comments.
That features several assists to make driving approachable for everyone. In the assists menu, you can adjust these settings to experience the full depth of this simulation, or to achieve certain bonus objectives.
I'm actually very glad that he just said that. So one thing that I mentioned earlier was that the game was accessible. So you do have different assists. Actually, Killer Instinct and a lot of Xbox games do have a lot of assists, because inherently it's very hard to control these games with just a single controller. Now, you might want to have some of these assists on because it might be difficult to control if you're playing with keyboard and mouse or controller, but if you want to be the best player that you can be and really get the full experience, like the announcer said, you want to turn off some of the assists.
Any of the assist settings to tailor your driving experience to be just the way you like, or to meet bonus objectives. Removing driving assists will require you to exercise greater control of your car, but it will also increase your race point score.
And so there we go. So if you have, your steering wheel set up and you're comfortable with driving, you want to turn these assists off. But if you're just getting into the game, maybe play a couple of rounds with this so you don't feel, totally worthless. But I believe if you're going to play online, you probably want to turn those off. But yeah, Killer Instinct has that, as well as almost every shooting game that you've ever played has aim assist in that as well.
Technology. Each driver is as unique and competitive as the players who trained them.
So, yeah, shooting games generally, if you play with a controller, they have aim assist, right? Well, since this driving game has so many intricate functions, it also has many assist functions. So it makes sense. The game's not going to autoplay itself, but it's going to allow you to play it competently, even if you're just, totally new. Then again, if you really want to get the highest scores and really have the full experience and be the best driver that you can be, and still, you're going to have the most fun, turn off the assists. I'm going to play with them on because I suck and I'm doing a first impression. So trying to, talk and play at the same time in a genre I've never really played. Graphics look pretty good, even though it's on dynamic medium. And my frame rate is still doing pretty well. Now, right now we have a little bit more going on in the background, and we've got rain effects and the lighting is a little bit different. Still a little bit more flat, but still, we're going around 70 and 80. I think this is fine if this was ultra, but it's not an ultra, it's on medium. So, the performance is still not completely amazing. Oh yeah, we have a rewind feature, so that's a thing. But I'm not gonna use that right now. We're just gonna keep playing. I'm just gonna have the gameplay go in the background as I rant a little bit. Now, I believe the performance is an hindrance because of the Windows Store system, and because this was originally an Xbox, One game, and it's sort of like the systems, the mechanics, the physics, the engine is being ported over to Windows. And I think that a lot of these games, I think Killer Instinct is locked at 60. I believe Gigantic was locked at 60. Probably not anymore because it's not using just the Windows Store anymore. But a lot of these games started out locked at 60 FPS because that's how it was on consoles. And that's just how they're made. This, luckily, I'm able to unlock the frame rate, which you need to go into your options to do so. But if you're a PC gamer, you probably go into your options first thing anyways. But I still feel like the performance isn't that great. Then again, it's beta, it could change, and I'm almost certain it will change due to feedback. So here we are. Now, if you guys are wondering what my machine is and how it's running compared to this game, I have a GTX 970. I have a Core i7. Nothing's overclocked. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Gaming speed. And this is just running in a normal hard drive. So load times are honestly, kind of longer than I would expect, but it's fine-ish. Because it's just, we're loading just simple tracks. Okay, maybe not simple tracks. There is a lot going in on it, but the load times are, they're doable. They're not super fast though. Which, if you buy a if you put this on an SSD, I wonder how fast it'd be. At least it's not like Grand Theft Auto times, and it's not Battlefield times, absolutely not. But the load times are just, they're just average. I actually think that if you have Forza on Xbox One, the load times are probably the same, which kind of sucks. I don't know. The hard drives are the same, aren't they? So maybe that makes sense. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I just know if you had the Elder Scroll Oblivion on Xbox 360, man, those load times sucked compared to PC. But I think nowadays the consoles they're basically just like gimped PCs, and they use a lot of the same parts, sometimes exactly the same parts, which you can actually use your hard drives your SSDs in your consoles. So load times, I don't know, are the same. Am I just filling time? A little bit, maybe. I'm trying to nitpick because that's the kind of game that this is. And a lot of people really want to know the performance of Windows Store games because, you know, it's make or break right now. Microsoft really needs to get on the ball here and get some good games in the Windows Store, and which they are. They're getting some really cool free-to-play games out there, like Killer Instinct, even though it's not completely fully free-to-play like this game apparently is. But yeah, then they got this game, man. This game's performing really well. We also have Halo Forge coming to the Windows Store. We've got Gears of War, and we have like almost every Xbox One game coming out, also coming to PC on the Windows Store. So I think they're really pushing for this, and this is going to be one of the first games out there that I think is really going to show that they're really trying, and that's how I feel. I feel like, yeah, the performance is fair, the graphics, everything about the game is fair, the mechanics are fair. If you look at the free-to-play model, it's fair. Like it's not blowing my freaking mind like Steam with Dota 2 or Team Fortress 2. Nothing super duper revolutionary, but I think in time, give it a year, and we're gonna see a revolution begin. We're gonna see maybe the next Halo. I don't know. I really don't think that there's going to be another Xbox. I think the next Xbox is legitimately just going to be basically a Steam PC. It's essentially going to be probably just like a mini PC that you can buy, and it's not going to have exclusives at all. That's probably, I think, the future. But that's also why I got a PS4, guys, for those exclusives. Then again, a lot of people don't like exclusives. Now, a lot of people did buy their Xbox Ones just for Forza, or Halo, or Gears. And it kind of feels weird that those games are now on the Windows Store, or going to be. Now, I don't know for sure if the next Halo is going to go on the Windows Store, but Halo Forge is going to be playable on PC pretty soon, so it's essentially the same thing. Essentially. Are we in first? We are in first. And again, remember, I'm probably in first because I think the game is on easy, and I also have assists on. But no way, if I was really playing this game, would I be in first. I do not play these kind of games. I've literally only played the demos of these kind of games. Though, again, I'm interested, so that's my bias. Normally I don't play these kind of games, but I'm actively attempting to get into them. And I think that's really good to get a free-to-play enthusiast game. A lot of them are like $15 or higher dollars. Hydroplaning. Okay, there we go. And we beat it. So it's really awesome to see, you know, this sort of niche enthusiast type of game, a simulation driving game for free. I know there was another one, I think it was called Project Car. No, was it? I can't remember the name of it, but there was another free-to-play racing game. But it was totally glitched on my PC. I couldn't play it, and I believe they changed their name because they got bad reviews and stuff. So there we go, and we can hit continue. So there is a free play, and I do want to show off a couple of other menus, just kind of show what you can do in this game.
Forza Hub is the place to go for the latest game, car, and racing news, and for special gifts to the Forza community. Go there now to unlock a unique car for your next event.
Exactly. All right, let's go. I was gonna literally go there anyways. So here we are. Pulled this out to the desktop. You can see my beautiful desktop, and as you can see, here's the Forza Hub. You can download that, or we can just boop, pop that open, go back into the game. If not redeemed, I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So we press back, and we have the message center, Forza Vista, and you can also pull up the Forza Hub right there. And the marketplace is grayed out right now. So this, I mean, it's beta, so we can't purchase anything. Hopefully, I'm really hoping there's not anything pay to win in this, because so far we have a tour mode, which I really like. It's more than just simple tracks thrown together. Like, I mean, like I said, you have the sort of kind of educational little intros to the races. I like that. You have there's the tours, there's the free play. I'm not sure exactly what Spotlight is. Highlights, stuff like that. There's a driver record. What's Forza Vista, actually? I don't know what this is. Is this where we can just like look around our cars? Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. Wait, can we actually get into the cars? Bruh. That's pretty nice. Can we sit down? Bruh. Anyways, if you're gonna make a car enthusiast game, you gotta let us get inside the cars and look around. And it's beautiful, man. Real world cars. And it's just awesome. You know, this game would actually be really fun with VR. And we have photo mode. So we can take screenshots and stuff. Oh my gosh, you get focus. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. The game seems fully featured. Like, I would expect this to not be in the free. I literally, okay, from what I've played from free-to-play games, especially ports, what I expect is the free play to literally be the only feature. But we have more. We have the free play and we have the tour, and that's awesome. Now, there's probably going to be more features later on that we're going to be able to utilize, and maybe they're going to add DLCs and more content. I don't know. Oh, and I want to show you the tuning. How can I show you the tuning? Let's go to the let's go to free play, because you can actually tune cars, and I know there's like a niche big following for a couple of channels, just a few channels that really focus on like the simulation games, and they tune their cars and they just make a bunch of different crazy setups, you know, sleeper cars and stuff like that, and that's pretty fun to watch. You know, even somebody who doesn't play these games, it's just cool to watch that kind of stuff. So you have the full tuning, which I also wouldn't expect in a gimped free-to-play version. It's basically the full version. Now, I don't know if this is the complete tuning, but it's definitely more tuning than I was prepared for. Absolutely. So you can tune your car, you can paint your car. Yeah, no, don't change it. Don't change it. We're good. You can paint your car, you can share apparently your paints with different cars with different peoples. And I mean, yeah, absolutely. It seems like a really cool experience, even just to try to demo out. But if you want to keep playing, you do have that option, because it is the complete free-to-play game that I know of right now. Maybe in beta, it's just, you know, it unlocked it so I can play it. But when it releases, I really hope that it has these features at least, and then continues to add more on later on. That would be really fantastic. So you saw the gameplay. Yes, it is still a niche game. I know that a lot of you guys don't like these kind of games, but honestly, as a free-to-play game, there's no harm in trying it, and I think you'll find that it's actually really cool. So yeah, you know, coming from my bias, I generally don't play these games, but you know, it's titles like this that make me want to get into it. So yes, it's hard, I guess, to get to the end game. It's hard to master this game, but it's accessible, and you don't need to fret too much, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. My name is Skyline. This was Forza Motorsport A6 Apex on the Windows Store for PC, but even if you have a bias against Windows Store, I think you should try it, because it performed pretty fairly, actually, and I think when it does release, it'll actually be much, much better. Oh, and by the way, this beta that I'm in is completely open and free, so you can try it out right now for yourself to see if you can run it right now. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Skylar with FreeMMOStation, and I'll see you guys again later.